what we had, and I'm going to say this number, and it's going to blow people away because it still is weird for me to say this. 15 years ago, in 2000 and...
All right, here we go. Harry Spears, welcome back to Vlad TV.
2025, right?
First interview of 2025.
Now, before you ask me a question, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's your New Year's resolution?
Oh, man, I didn't really have one.
Can I tell you what I'd like your New Year's resolution to be?
What's that?
Stop over-talking your guests, man. Because you do that.
I want to over-talk you right now.
You do it so much. Oh, my God.
I actually did a poll, and I said, who overtalks their guests the most? And it seemed like me and Nori were like tied.
Yeah, I could see that, because Nori does that a lot, too. Fat Joe should have been thrown in there, too, when he had his podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll try not to do it.
Okay.
I'll do my best.
We'll see.
I'll do my best.
I just don't want to battle with you like that.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's all right. Well, sometimes, here's the thing. Like, people think that I do it just because I like to do it, but no. A lot of times is I have a game plan for the interview, and people sometimes go off course and on tangents and everything else like that, so I got to bring them back in, and, you know, occasionally the only way to do that is to overtalk somebody. Because otherwise, people can go on a 20, 30-minute tangent
I've never not seen you do it.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I mean, you know,
Fair
listen,
enough.
I get it. You fighting for rebound position. So am I. So come on, man.
Okay.
Only one of us can be Rodman.
Okay. Only one of us can be Rod. All right. And Rod was the king of rebounds, so.
Yes, he is.
There we go.
Jordan of rebounding.
Yes. Well, before we get into the other stuff, you know, New Year's just passed, and a bunch of craziness happened. The craziest of which is a Texas-born U.S. citizen, a former Army veteran who served in Afghanistan named Shamsuddin Jabbar, 42 years old, plowed a truck into a crowd of people on Bourbon Street, New Orleans, killing 14 people and injuring dozens more.
You know what's wild? I literally just heard about that this morning.
Really?
When I woke up this morning and I do my daily scroll through the phone, and I'm keep coming up on all this. The guy with the truck, New Orleans, New Year's Eve, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just now being hip to this.
Yeah, it's crazy. They found an ISIS flag,
Right.
I guess, in his truck. And there's actually a bunch of videos he posted on Facebook hours before doing this, where he actually planned to have a family celebration, and he was going to kill all of them.
His family?
His own family. Yeah.
Did they? I heard he got killed, right?
He got killed, yeah.
Okay.
Well, he started opening fire on people after plowing through a whole
Wait, so first he plowed through people,
yeah,
then he got out the truck?
started shooting,
Oh my
and
God.
the cops, I think he was shooting at the cops. The
Right.
cops returned fire and killed him, luckily.
Thank you.
And, but yeah, so he originally, I guess he went through a nasty divorce and everything else like that. And I guess he started to like hate his own family. So he was going to have this big family celebration and kill everyone in his family. But instead, he decided to go this route.
Damn.
Yeah,
Either way, it was going to be horrific.
right. The Sugar Bowl is actually postponed in New Orleans because of this.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Damn. See what pussy do?
yeah, and a nasty divorce. All right, because then over in Vegas, there's a Tesla Cybertruck that
Saw that.
exploded
Yeah.
in front of the Trump Hotel. And another
And they're saying that's connected.
They're not saying it's connected, but well, it's connected because both these guys. So the guy in the Cybertruck, his name was Matthew Livelsberger. He was a former Green Beret, and he actually shot himself in the head right before the explosion. And both of them served at Fort Bragg.
Right.
So that's the only connection between these two.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, even from the footage I saw, I don't know what the person's official position was in New Orleans, but she kept saying it wasn't a terrorist attack. It just made it sound like this is just somebody who went off on the deep end. But it's not a terrorist attack. And didn't they say that there was also explosives in the pickup?
Well, in the pickup in the back, there was a bunch of explosives that blew up.
Smells like terrorists. Your position was
Didn't really do a lot of damage outside of the Cybertruck itself. The Cybertruck's actually still intact.
Okay. Well, what was the ultimate goal for him to plow the truck into a building and blow it up?
I have no idea. Because in fact,
Position was
didn't really do a lot of damage post. that Elon Musk actually commented on is that the Tesla Cybertruck was voted the worst vehicle by the National Association of Terrorist Car Bombers.
The Tesla truck is built like if it was human, it'd be Sinbad.
The Sinbad of trucks.
The truck got Sinbad body.
That's funny. Yeah, man, listen, and you know what's interesting is that all the people that are like protesting against Israel and, you know, shouting out ISIS and everything else like that, how do they feel about it now? Because the terrorist attack in New Orleans was an ISIS member.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like between the explosives and the ISIS flag, and certainly I know you shouldn't say anything based on somebody's name, but based off his name, you know, it smells like terrorism.
It is terrorism. He's a member of ISIS. This is a win for ISIS.
But this is what we're not talking about the New Orleans dude no more.
New Orleans guys.
Yeah, but that's what I said in the beginning, and you went, nah.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
Okay.
My bad.
Come on, man, pay attention.
This is ISIS. This is all ISIS.
Okay.
The same group that attacked Israel and, you know, shot all those people and did all the kidnapping. They're responsible for the New Orleans attack. So pick your side.
Listen,
are you pro ISIS or against ISIS? I'm against ISIS.
I know. Well, who's for ISIS?
I think some of like the death to Israel people.
Yeah, the maniacs.
Yeah.
Listen, I know the hardcore Trump fans ain't gonna like this, but isn't it kind of weird or just a funky coincidence that now that Mr. Mayhem is back in office, here we go?
Well, the Cybertruck exploded in front of the Trump Hotel.
More to my point. More to my point.
More to your point.
I say on stage, now that he's president again, he should change the slogan from Make America Great Again to The Empire Strikes Back. Because Lord Vader is back. And it feels like, here we go. Here we go.
Well, something interesting came in my mailbox a couple of weeks ago. Don't know if you ever heard this before. This was a clip from Opie and Anthony, where they had Joe Rogan and Jamie Masada, who's the owner of the Laugh Factory. Do you know what I'm talking about yet? You know what I'm talking about?
I think I know where you're going, yeah.
Okay. I've never heard this before.
I've never heard it either. Is it from Joe Rogan?
It's from Joe Rogan.
Right.
So Joe Rogan mentions you in this clip. Let me play it for you.
Aries. When are we getting out of Iraq? It's a big country.
Did you say Aries Spears?
Yeah.
Tremendous thief.
Oh, here we go. I knew if I said anybody, I said he's one
That's not true. That's not true. I'm a huge supporter of comedians. It's not true.
Yeah.
Aries Spears is a thief.
And you know what he is, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Former cast member Ahmed. That's right.
Joe Rogan called you a tremendous joker.
Tell me what joke I stole, Joe. Tell me what joke I stole, Joe. Here's sometimes where people want to go, you're stealing. Is because sometimes in terms of your persona, your comedic style, if it's reminiscent of someone else a little bit, y'all got kind of the same energy, that's where you're a thief. But I would ask Joe, what joke are you talking about? Tell me exactly what joke you're talking about. Because there have been people who have said, and I'll be the first person to go listen, whenever I name my top favorite comedians, I always say Dave Chappelle and Patrice O'Neal. And I will be the first person to always say, Patrice is better than me. If he was still alive today, Patrice is better than me. Patrice was a monster. You know, I almost go if comedians were rappers, I would say Dave Chappelle is Jay-Z, Patrice is Biggie, and I'll take Nas or Jadakiss. That's not a bad position. And my style, like Patrice, is very fearless, very out there, very raw, very rugged, very I don't give a fuck. So, yeah, you might sit there, and I've heard people say, oh, he trying to be Patrice. Why? Because I'm the same in terms of I like raw, rugged, no censored, no hold bars type of comedy. But what joke are you talking about? And then here's one of my favorite sayings. Well, I'm gonna pat myself on the back. You know, a lot of times people will see a comedian do something on television, and then they'll see someone else do it later, and they go, oh, you stole that from the guy I saw on television. And I go, just because you saw someone do it first, don't mean they did it first. You just happen to see somebody who put it out there on a major medium called television. But that don't mean they're the author of the joke. They could be the thief. They just put it out there and you saw it. So, and listen, here's the last thing, because I know Joe Rogan, I would think that now that he's worth $1 gazillion, he wouldn't want to jeopardize that. And listen, I know the deal. I know Joe is an MMA dude who can beat the shit out of me. But I will say to Joe, you're a fucking hypocrite. Because you didn't go after Amy Schumer the way you did Carlos. You destroyed Carlos's career. When Carlos did what he did, you called him a thief. When Amy did what she did, you said it was parallel thinking. Get the fuck out of here. So if you're gonna go there, go all the way.
Yeah, man. The stealing of the jokes. So you've heard that? You've heard of that before, but you never actually heard that actual audio.
No. What I heard was, and Bobby Lee told me, was that Joe said I was a hack.
Oh.
Yeah. But as far as...
What does that mean, a hack, exactly, in common?
You know, some people's definition is, maybe not too original, or... Like, I'll give you an example of what might be deemed hacky. And a lot of comedians do this. It's the thing where the setup is the comedian is talking to somebody who's talking real rough to them, calling them all kind of names. You bitch ass, you motherfucker, you soft pussy. And then the punchline is, Jesus, take it easy, grandma. Boom, boom.
Got it.
A lot of that would be considered hacky.
That's hacky.
Because so many comedians have done that.
Okay, so you heard that he called you a hack, but this is the first time you heard he's actually
Of that clip.
calling you a joke thief.
Yeah.
A notorious joke thief.
Well, he didn't say notorious.
I think he did say notorious.
Well, not that it matters.
You wanna play it again?
No, you don't have to play it again. But whether it's notorious or just thief, a thief is a thief.
Thief is a thief. Right. Can't really sugarcoat it.
But like I said, tell me the joke.
All right.
Tell me the joke.
Joe, what's good? You got to respond now.
Joe ain't gonna respond. He got too
He's
much
not going
money.
to respond?
Man. He got too
You
much
got too much money? All right, well, let's get this viral and let's see if he responds or not.
Well, I don't care if he responds or not.
Yeah.
You know, I'ma still do me, and I still got my fan base, and I know who the fuck I am. I'm 35 years in this game, and I've got my stripes. I got my Purple Hearts.
Well, Joe Budden, who I recently ran into in New York.
Fuck him too.
You like Joe Budden?
Because Joe was talking shit when that whole Tiffany thing went down. And Joe was talking a lot of shit. And I hit him up on his DMs. And I said, Joe, you got something to say to me, say it to my face. Or bring me on your podcast and let's hash it out.
Okay.
Nothing.
He didn't respond?
No.
Okay.
And now I just saw recently where he apparently went into his neighbor's house butt naked or something, right?
Okay, well, let me just say this. Me and Joe had quote-unquote beef for like 15 years. Right? There was a situation that happened about 15 years ago over this other rapper named Ransom, where a bunch of shit happened. People could look it up. It's common knowledge. So Joe didn't like me and I didn't like him. So for 15 years, we've been taking shots at each other online. But we actually were shopping in Manhattan really just a few days ago. It was like right before Christmas. I think it was like around the 24th. And I look over and it's Joe Budden in the same store as me. And he looks at me and says, "What's up?" I said, "What's up?" Walk up to him. We shook hands. We talked about our families and everything else like that. I congratulated him, for his success. He congratulated me on mine. That was it. It was a nice moment. It was a mature moment. But yeah, what I wanted to mention, and usually I don't talk about Joe because of our past issues, but at this point I feel like we're good, however you define that. But he was actually walking around his apartment naked. Well, no, the hallway in his apartment building, naked. And I guess he tried to go into one of his neighbor's doors and the Ring camera was alerted. And I guess the video actually caught him naked at the door. And I guess the neighbor's young daughter saw it and it was just a bunch of craziness. So he's actually charged with lewdness.
Okay, so my point is this. Let's stop throwing stones.
Spencer, what's wrong with you? Come here. Come here. Spencer, come here. Spencer. Come here. Come here.
Because we all have made mistakes. We all fuck up. You know what I'm saying? No one is walking around here perfect. So when he was popping his gums about me and trying to question my character and this, now look at you. You know what I'm saying? We all make mistakes. We have all fucked up. So stop throwing stones. And listen, man, anybody, I'm not hard to find. You got something you want to say about me? Hit me up on Instagram. DM me. Slide into my DMs. I'm not hard to find. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. If you got a platform you want me to come on so we can hash it out, we can hash it out. Like, say shit to people's faces.
Shout out to Joe, man. Congratulations on everything. You know, the whole walk around naked thing's a little weird, but I don't know. Things happen. He said he was sleepwalking.
Sure he was.
He said he was sleepwalking.
Sure he was.
I don't see any other reason why you'd walk around naked and
then you can't even own up to it. You throwing stones, you doing shit yourself, and you can't even own.
All that shit on fucking TV, all that shit. Now someone got you. And I'm just seeing you here, so like this is a tame environment, so I won't keep it to no words, but I really felt as if people exactly like you sensationalized and made a following of clowning situations that we go through in real life. And I think, you know, niggas ain't had no right. You know, you specifically, like you ain't never had no right. Like whatever made you feel like you had a space to have a perspective on our people dying on a daily basis. So when I saw a drill, and you can definitely chime in, when I saw a drill was so hyped up by everyone, I had to give a different perspective of what that was for people to realize that's not cool. And whether you agree with it, right? And again, you're very close, you're involved in it. Cheesy didn't like me, Dirt didn't like me. I mean, I think they grew to understand that the content was not just negative. Right? It was just negative. No, come on, you don't think there was nothing constructive about it? There was nothing constructive about it. And I'm telling you the truth. I really think you're a bitch because what was it? There's a video that you put up about a person named Trey 50 Cent making all these jokes. So here's another Chirac Savage, like this guy is stupid. He messes with the Grim Reaper. Like, this is not a video. That's the nigga I grew up with. I know since 5 years old. And come on the internet, like this corny ass little voice and make jokes about it. Like, yo, I was waiting to see you. And it's a couple people waiting to see you. Why did you say you didn't want to come to Chicago when I sat down? Because you clearly don't. Because now you stand outside. You got chased up the mall. Wait, I think I love a shop. Like, I mean, truth be told, there's a mixed reaction. You know you can't deal with that. You're not. Wait, so you act like there's no love in Chicago? No, I wish I had known. And you hate it. I wouldn't have put it in that seat. I don't want to say it fair. No, I'm fine. How do you feel about it? I wanted to slap you in your face, honestly. And
Own up to it, coward ass nigga.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Well, you actually commented on this. Kendrick Lamar had a line on his new album. He said, "Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. That's law."
Right.
And Andrew Schultz felt that Kendrick was talking about him. So he responded, talking about that if they were both in prison, he would take Kendrick's man.
Like, first of all, Kendrick's people and the gang affiliate, everybody, his security, they will kill me. They will destroy me. They'll find me in the street. They'll fucking cut me up. They'll shoot me. They'll do whatever. I'm not a tough guy. Y'all do. But just Kendrick, I would make love to him. There's nothing he can do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him. And the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only thing he could do. If it's me and Kendrick, this is about physics. It's about physics. I don't even know if I'll get hard. But if we're in a cell, there's a chance that if we're in a cell and we're bored and we done tattooing each other, whatever you do in the cell, and we ran out of board games and we did all the other things, we cleaned everything, and I'm like, man, I might as well fuck you. There's nothing he could physically do to stop that.
You saw the actual video, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't see the actual video?
No, I heard the quote, but I didn't see the actual video.
Let me play you the actual video.
You don't have to play me the video. You're telling me. I understand the context.
He basically said this. He said that, if him and Kendrick were in a cell together based on how small Kendrick is,
He would rape him.
He would rape him.
Right.
And basically, Kendrick would just have to decide whether it's consensual or not.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole thing.
Right.
And certain people got upset over it. Meek Mill, said that this was racist and, raping black men and so forth.
That's not racist.
And, and here's the thing. Like, for example, D.L. Hughley, I had him on my show recently. Mm-hmm. And he didn't like it, and he felt that rape jokes are not funny.
What he said is he could rape her.
Right. Well, he said you can make love to him. The only thing he can do is decide whether it's consensual or not.
That's rape, right?
Which is rape, right.
So, and to me, when a white boy talks about buck breaking a nigga, that's problematic. Now, to me, that could be funny. I've never seen a rape joke be funny. If we take the verbiage or the saccharine out of it, is a white man saying, I'll take this from you, and I didn't see the premise, the punchline, or the setup. I didn't see it. What I did was, I saw a guy who thought he could say something. He could do whatever he wants. I'll defend his right to say it. I didn't think it was funny. And whatever comes as a result of that is on you.
Anything can be funny.
And I disagreed with him.
Anything can be
funny. And
funny.
I started bringing up examples of famous comedians doing famous rape jokes. Eddie Murphy did the whole Mr. T rape joke.
Yep.
Right? Then there was also Chris Rock, Toss My Salad.
Right.
Right? When Bill Cosby was in his full swing, I remember Dave Chappelle made a rape joke about Bill Cosby.
Right.
He saves, but he rapes.
Yeah.
So, and then, DL's point was, well, they're not talking about actually raping somebody, they're talking about other people raping somebody. And I'm like, that's a nuance. It's the same thing. Rape is rape.
Yeah.
So, you actually agree with me.
I agree with comedy.
Right.
That anything can be funny just as in your execution. And here's the thing, at the end of the day, it's subjective. So it always bothers me when people go, well, it's just not funny. Say to you, add the words to you on there. Because to somehow say that something is not funny just because it's not funny to you, it's not funny to the masses, is somewhat narcissistic. Get off your high horse and realize it's art, which means it's subjective. Just because you didn't find it funny, don't mean somebody else don't find it funny. So your word is not law.
I found it funny. When I saw it,
well, I don't know. I don't find that funny. Him saying that about Kendrick. But yes, I've heard rape jokes, abortion jokes, and all kind of other heinous jokes that were funny.
Listen, me and Andrew were texting around this time, and I found the execution of that joke funny.
To you.
To me.
Right. That doesn't necessarily make me laugh.
Right. Because here's the thing. It's not realistic. Like, Andrew will never get the opportunity to rape Kendrick. They're not going to be locked up in a cell together. Like, this is simply a joke, you know? And then, look, at one point, Andrew, you know, he did his podcast with Charlemagne, basically said that a bunch of Kendrick fans were, like, threatening his newborn daughter and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, well, that comes with it. It is what it is. You know, if you want to talk reckless about someone, you're going to get some response. You know, and, you know, DL was like, oh, you can't be the aggressor and the victim and so forth. And, you know, I mean, that's debatable and so forth. But, you know, people will go overboard when it comes to, you know, being a fan of somebody and having their person insulted somehow. But look, at the end of the day, rape jokes are funny. There's pedophilia jokes that are funny. You actually said some of them. I didn't necessarily find them funny. Slide out of that one. Well, what's actually interesting is that I actually brought up, you know, before I did the interview, I hit up, you know, my Vlad TV YouTube members, and I asked what I should talk about, and someone mentioned a skit that you did on Mad TV where you played R. Kelly, the greatest statutory rapist skit. I watched it for the first time ever.
Oh, yeah?
And
we did that before Dave Chappelle did Pee on You.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And listen again, this is the beauty of what we do. There are some people that will say, oh, Pee on You was way funnier than the Mad TV skit. And there are people that will say the Mad TV skit was funnier than the Dave Chappelle skit. To just be in the same ballpark, to just be able to have the two compare, that's the win.
Yeah, shout out to Daryl Best Wedley. He's the one who actually pointed this out.
Right.
I watched it for the first time. So basically, you play R. Kelly as a boxer.
It was a spoof from the actual video, The Greatest.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that.
We spoofed that.
Right, so basically, like, you're like the boxer in his dressing room, and it's like, it's a little girl, it's a Girl Scout, saying, oh, I want to see R. Kelly. Oh, he's busy. I got some Girl Scout cookies. Okay, bring her in. They're like chasing her around and everything else like that, calling her jailbait. How's the chorus go? You go,
I'm the greatest statutory rapist. Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant.
I did too.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, everything Mad TV pretty much did back then was brilliant.
I thought it was brilliant.
Couldn't do that today.
No, you can't do that today. Which is too bad.
That's how soft we've gotten.
Which is too bad.
Yeah.
Because it's comedy.
Yeah.
It's supposed to push the line.
Yeah. You know, I know I don't want to mention it again because I know I've mentioned it here on your platform, but for the sake of argument, let me just do it again. 3 legendary comedians, 3 legendary quotes. Dave Chappelle, you don't know what a line is in comedy until you cross it. George Carlin, you should know what a line is in comedy and deliberately cross it. Patrice O'Neal, rest in peace. Great comedy leaves half the audience laughing and the other half horrified. And you ain't always going to get it right. Sometimes you make mistakes. Jordan didn't win every game, but he's still a 6-time champion. Ali didn't win every fight, but he's still a 3-time heavyweight champion. You know?
Who do you think, if you were to look at all the major comedians, who do you think is the one that pushed the line the furthest?
Today?
Just period, overall.
I mean, you gotta give everything.
Who really would almost cross the line?
They pushed the line in 2 different ways. I think that, you know, my first inclination was to say Richard Pryor, because he's kind of the architect and the blueprint for every black comedian that has come along since him. Especially when it comes to joking about race and the reality of America. But I have to say before him, I'd give it to Dick Gregory. Because Dick Gregory was doing it, but not Richard Pryor was motherfucking crack cocaine in the 80s with his what he gave you. Dick Gregory was I don't know what's softer than crack cocaine, just cocaine. You know, he gave it to you, but in a more eloquent fashion.
Yeah, Dick Gregory was a little before my time, so I didn't really get up on his.
Yeah, no, Dick kind of.
I know who he is.
He cracked the door open for Richard to knock him down.
I know he's a legend. I just haven't watched a lot of his.
Yeah.
So I can't really.
There's a great documentary on Showtime about Dick Gregory. Look it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking on this particular subject, Jay-Z and Diddy are being sued over allegedly sexually assaulting a 13-year-old.
I thought it was, well, not that matters.
What?
I thought it was a 16-year-old.
No, 13-year-old.
Is this a different one now?
Well, there's a few of them, but the one that Jay-Z's thrown into is a 13-year-old.
Right.
And what's interesting is Antonio Brown, who honestly has become one of the greatest trolls on the internet. He posted this.
Oh, that's crazy.
See you later, alligator. At your trial, pedophile.
Right.
And of course, Jay-Z has hit back.
Which I'm glad to see. Because if you're innocent and you know, people are trying to throw dirt on your name and your reputation, you're supposed to fight back.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with these types of lawsuits is that, everyone's like, yeah, Jay-Z's going to ruin him. He's going to get his law license revoked and so forth. The way these laws are set up, lawyers can file these bullshit lawsuits, and there's literally no repercussions that are happening to any of these lawyers. I have not heard of a single lawyer that has stopped practicing from a lawsuit that they filed. I've never heard of it.
I always thought they were suing the accuser, not the lawyer.
Possibly, but here's the thing. You can't sue somebody who's broke. A lot of people, the majority of America, is sue-proof. Because this is a 13-year-old at the time who's now like, I don't know, in her 30s, single mother. From what I understand, she's like on the spectrum, probably autistic to a certain degree. She did an interview where like the facts just didn't match up. She said that the guys from Good Charlotte were there, and their management actually responded and said that during this time they were on tour. They weren't even there.
Yeah, listen, this is why I go innocent until proven guilty. You know, especially with social media now, everybody is the judge, the prosecutor, and you're on trial, and the public eye it's already convicted you before we really get all the facts out.
Well, yeah, because they actually interviewed the father, and she said, like, after she was sexually assaulted, her father picked her up, and it was just like quiet in the car. And the father was like, we live 5 hours away. I don't remember driving 5 hours each direction to pick her up and then take her back. I would have remembered that. And she's like, oh, my dad was going through a lot of the time. We get a lot of arguments about it. It's like, it's all bullshit. I don't believe any of it.
We know that there are celebrities a la Bill Cosby, and maybe R. Kelly, who do commit heinous crimes. But there are also celebrities who are the victim of a possible money grab.
Oh, yeah. No, look, the lawyer, Tony Busby, said that we didn't ask for a penny from Jay-Z. All we asked for is a mediation meeting. The mediation meeting is about money in a civil lawsuit.
Right. Yeah.
That's all it's about. You are asking for money.
Yeah.
That's all it's about.
Listen, innocent until proven guilty, man.
Yeah, man. I hate this. I hate the way this works. I hate the way it's set up. At one point, being famous and rich protected you against lawsuits. Now you're just a bigger target for it. Because what these lawyers do is they try to circumvent the legal process by filing these outrageous lawsuits, these incredible, unprovable claims, to the point where the person will just give them something to make it go away.
Right.
Which is a way to avoid actually going to court and being proved wrong.
Right, to avoid the headache.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying, if this actually went to trial, there's no proof. There's no proof of anything.
Listen, I'm not in Jay-Z's shoes, but I would think, and because I'm not in his shoes, maybe what I have to say is, null and void. But I would think that if you have that kind of money and you can afford to fight it without losing sleep, you fight it. But again, I don't know how much of that, in terms of what that entails, becomes the headache for him or anybody like him.
The whole thing is a headache. The whole thing, to go through depositions, to go through an actual court trial. It's not just the money, it's the time and the aggravation associated with it. And these lawyers understand it. And the person who's suing are not paying anything. These lawyers are taking these cases on contingency, meaning that if the lawyer wins, they get 30% of the winnings. But the person who actually sues, when they lose, they don't have a penny to pay to anybody. Whereas the person getting sued ends up having to cough up a few $100,000, and they could try to countersue, but if the person is a 9-to-5 worker or is unemployed, there's nothing to sue that person for.
Right.
You can't collect anything. So I personally think the law should just be changed. At some point, someone needs to actually put some money into some politician's hands and start changing the laws. But the lawyers aren't going to like that because they make a lot of their money this way.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Well, recently in New York, Luigi Mangione, the CEO of a major healthcare company, he went on the run for a few days. Eventually, he was caught. I interviewed Deal Hughley about this, and what he said was, "I guess karma is a pre-existing condition."
If you watch any of the newspapers, any of the stories, it was about how Americans were basically saying, "Good. I guess now we know karma is a pre-existing condition."
You can make jokes about it.
Yeah.
That was my whole point with DL.
Yeah.
Even an innocent man could be funny if stated as some kind of.
I wish I had the. I wish I knew more in terms of what he said, but you know, there was a clip where Bill Burr commented on it and kind of went on one of his famous Bill Burr rants. And I don't know if you would interpret it in terms of funny more so than just plain truth. Where he was kind of, and I'm paraphrasing here, was saying that these guys, you know, they get away with it all the time in terms of what they do to the little man. And I don't think by any means was he justifying, but he was just pointing out the hypocrisy in it.
Look, man, it's a healthcare company. Do you think that the CEO is actually sitting there trying to keep off as many people as possible? Or are they running a business within the guidelines of the business?
Okay, but if you know the guide, you know what the guidelines are. You know they're funky. You know they're bull.
I mean, here's the thing. I've never personally had issues with my health insurance.
Well, you got money. And people that got money don't have issues when it comes to.
Well, but if you have health insurance, you have health insurance. I mean, I guess is there different types of health insurance? I mean,
some people can't even afford health insurance.
Well, they have Medicare.
Well, I don't know. Medicare kind of like a, for lack of a better word, cheaper version or like a no-frills kind of.
If you can't afford regular health insurance, you can get Medicare. You can get Medicaid. I mean, there's
but I'm saying, is it if you got top-of-the-line health care versus what you can't afford in Medicare, isn't there a difference in terms of the quality of what you get?
I can't tell you because I've always. Well, I mean, there are times in my life I had no health insurance. You know what I'm saying? And look, I mean, you've had situations like, you know, like Obamacare, I thought was a major turning point. Where before Obamacare, which I thought this was criminal. If you had a pre-existing condition for signing for health insurance, they don't have to treat it after you sign up. So let's just say you have HIV and you get health insurance. Well, the health insurance at that point could say, well, we're not going to treat your HIV because you had it before you signed up.
As a citizen of the United States that pays taxes, you should be taken care of regardless as to what your circumstances are.
I agree. But you know,
I don't know. Listen, I'm not a big geologist. I don't know. But there's some countries, I think like Canada, where see, this is where I'm a little uneducated about the subject. But in terms of healthcare, they take care of their people.
Right. But you know what the cost is for that? Way higher taxes. All the countries that have free medical care, medical insurance for all their citizens have sky-high taxes. I don't know if you heard, there's a whole thing where like Trump like offered Canada to be like the 51st state, And he's like, oh, well, I'll bring your taxes down. Because taxes are up to like 60% in Canada, you know, for certain cases. So it's like, yeah, you know, become part of the U.S. and we'll bring your taxes down. Because that's the thing. Canada has free healthcare for everyone, but the cost is everyone pays higher taxes. So what do you want? Lower taxes or free healthcare? You're not going to have both. You got to pick one. The money has to come from somewhere.
And this whole time, I thought Canada was gentle.
Yeah.
Nah, you would have spiked that too.
The same thing with France. France has like 70-80%. Like some crazy tax.
With the baguette.
Yeah. The French roll. Yeah. Throw a croissant up in there. Yeah, man. So that's the thing. I mean, I don't know. Like, I understand there's this whole eat the rich mentality. So when a famous person, a rich person dies, like, yeah, that's what he gets. But man, this guy, I actually looked into him. Like, he grew up in a small town of like 20,000 people or something, you know, relatively poor. You know, worked his way up to become the CEO of a major company. He's got a wife, he had kids. Like, to just be in the middle of the street.
Well, yeah, I'm not justifying it in any way. But I know, again, there are people who may not be as sympathetic to him because they feel like, for lack, you know, maybe he got what he deserved. I'm not saying that he deserved that. Nobody deserves that. But the little man sees it from a different position.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. It's too bad that the little man has to get in such a way that they would be forced to see it that way.
I mean, I don't know. Celebrating for somebody.
Again, I'm not saying celebrating. I'm just saying
like, you have to look. Like, I've had moments in my life where I've had similar types of thoughts.
We all do. It's natural.
You know, like when you see someone doing bad, it makes you feel a little better because you're doing bad, or you're doing worse. But I now recognize that I was the one that was messed up during that time. I'm the one with the problem during those times, and those are really just nasty thoughts. So anyone who's watching this, who's celebrating other people's demise, it's almost like, and I see this in my timeline. I used to block everyone, but now I realize I got to embrace the haters more because they've actually helped me over time. So I don't block anybody. But there are accounts out there with fake profile pics that all they do is respond to people with racist comments. That's all they do. You literally go to their account and all the way down the line, calling black people the word, calling Jewish people, you know what I'm saying? Like, calling, you know, Latinos, all types of, you know, whatever. And it's like, man, where must you be in your life where you actually have to get your rocks off by being racist to strangers, hoping you'll get a response from one, or hoping they'll block you, and to them that's a win. I just I hope I never get to that point in my life.
No, I mean, you know, listen, some people are just miserable.
Yeah,
you know, and that's a reflection of that. You know, just miserable.
Well, Diddy's still locked up. He's being accused of obstructing justice. He's, you know, making phone calls not supposed to be making, and, you know, they're saying he's talking to witnesses he's not supposed to be talking to, and so forth. At this point, what's your take on it? Do you expect him to actually walk out at some point, or do you expect he'll get life in prison?
You know, I still believe in America. Power and fame and money give you an advantage. I don't really. It's hard for me to say because on one end, based on how things seem, if in a trial it's all brought to light, then yeah, he'll go down as he should. But again, this is America, and money and power and fame. You know, they play tricks with the system. So he could very well get off too.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this, and people have like got me on it. And I've said this on major platforms like Piers Morgan. It's like, I'm not quite sure what he's being charged with still. To this day, I don't quite understand where the criminal charges are.
Right.
Remember me and Boots were talking about this. He's like, it's not a RICO, it's a FRICO.
Fuck a RICO, that's a FRICO. He got a fucking FRICO.
Diddy got a FRICO.
He got a FRICO. No bond for that. It's the power, the bigger the money, the bigger the hunting. Always remember that. The bigger the money, the bigger the hunting. No bond for that. For being a freak. When all these fucking freaks out here. That's get you went on Twitter. Everything's freaky. Ain't got a freako. I don't see nothing that's damn. It's a freako.
You know, it's like, okay, he's freaky. He likes group sex. He likes to be a cuckold.
Well, that's why. Well, I even said on somebody's podcast, I forget who, but it was like, oh, the baby oil. He bought all his baby oil. That's not against the law. You know what I mean? If he goes and cleans Walmart out with baby oil, that just means he's having a slippery time. I'm saying everybody's sliding all over the place. But where's the crime?
Yeah, apparently there's a bunch of male prostitutes that are going to be actually speaking on his behalf.
Oh, that might be embarrassing. But again, where's the crime?
It'll get him off, though, possibly.
In more ways than one.
They're saying that the inmates are like fighting each other over like the right to like make his bed and stuff like that.
Wow.
I mean, he still did it.
Yeah.
He's definitely the most,
What's
famous
this guy
person.
was it Bentley Farnsworth, the one that would carry the umbrella?
Farnsworth Bentley. Yeah, actually, I interviewed him about that a long time ago. I just can't find the footage.
Yeah, where he holds the umbrella over his head. So, you know, he's got a Farnsworth Bentley.
He's got a Farnsworth Bentley. Right. Although it's not raining.
You don't know what it's doing in there.
Raining baby oil in there.
You get enough dicks together, it can rain in there too.
Hey man, maybe he likes it in there. You know?
Listen, man. Listen. If Diddy is bisexual, okay, that's his thing.
I've been saying this like over and over again. Me and Academics Back 100. We all feel that he should just come out the closet. And say, I'm a bisexual man. I have been my whole life. And there might be a little more sympathy in that situation.
Well, either that or, this ain't news, we knew it.
Yeah. No one's going to be surprised.
Exactly.
You know what's interesting though? Like it seems like Meek Mill and Diddy were like friends to a certain degree. You know, they hung out together. The famous picture with them in the outfits, the matching outfits, the midget. But recently, there's a video where Meek's like, "No Diddy gang."
No Diddy gang?
Yeah. Basically, he's saying he's not down with Diddy.
Oh yeah.
Because people say no Diddy.
Yeah.
He's like no Diddy gang. He's like I'm part of no Diddy gang.
Right.
And that kind of surprised me because it's like,
well, listen, when somebody's in trouble, the associates run for cover.
Yeah, but look, when you were going through what you were going through, did you ever hear me say anything negative about you?
Listen, I had people that stuck with me, by me, and I had people that jumped ship.
Right.
It was par for the course.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened to me too.
Right.
During my various cancel, episodes over the years, there's people that stuck by me. There's people who have privately stuck by me and said, listen, I'm not going to do your show right now, but I'm not going to say anything against you.
Yeah.
And there's people that jumped all the way out the window and were like, fuck Vlad, cancel him, unsubscribe to his channel, subscribe to mine, that type of bullshit.
Right.
So you get the whole